Hi everybody, this is Coach Allison back, and yes, we are in week 3 already for Defy Aging. This week, pretty standard. We have one circuit, large circuit. We have, I think, 8 exercises to get through. They're going to be timed 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off. All right? And did I say 3 rounds? Yes, 3 rounds. So let's review what those are. Okay, station 1 is a kneeling medicine ball overhead press. So we're going to start kneeling on the floor just like this in a tall kneeling position. So we're not going to be crouched down like this. Got our medicine ball at the chest and press up, bring it down. So you want it going mostly overhead. So you see it is going a little bit forward, but we just don't want it to be going too far forward because then it kind of wants to pull you down. But we don't need it to go like straight up and over because your head is kind of in the way. So we don't have to go up and like excessively back like this each time. So mostly overhead, but it can have that very slight forward angle. So for anyone that's staying off the floor, we're going to do this on a stability ball. One moment, I'll grab a ball. For anyone staying off the knees, we're going to turn this into a stability ball overhead press. So sit on the ball like this, sit up tall, and we're going to do that same thing. All the movement with the upper body is exactly the same, of course. And then if the stability ball is not an option, we're going to turn it into a seated press on a bench or a box. So those are our 3 options there. Starting on the knees is option number 1, and that's our kneeling overhead press with the medicine ball. Station 2 is a stability ball plank. All right, we got this stability ball, of course. We're going to come into a plank. So there's different ways to start this. You can start on the knees like this if that's something that's okay for you, comfortable, and then put your elbows on the ball. You can even kind of put your whole chest on it to get started. Pop your legs up and then get that chest off the ball. That's one way to start it. As you maybe saw at the beginning, I like to start it by kind of just putting my elbows down, stepping one leg back, stepping the other leg back. Either way, however you like to get in it is fine. But want to make sure we don't have that butt up too high, and we want to make sure we're not resting the chest or the torso on the ball. So keep that chest up. There is another option to kind of prepare yourself for it, or if it's new for you, or if you're just having a really hard time stabilizing this and it's not feeling safe for you, press the ball into a wall. So we'll have the coaches put this station near a wall and do this against the wall, okay? So that's going to add some stability for you to kind of prepare and learn how to get used to this feel. So that's an option. And then the last option is actually taking this up to a bench or an incline like we do any other incline plank. So you can always take those elbows up to an incline surface and turn this into a standard forearm plank. All right, the next station is going to be our tank. That thing. Okay, it's going to be the push-pull. So you're going to push it down one direction, pull it back the other. Pretty self-explanatory. So push it down that way and then pull it back this way. If by chance we do have to double up at some stations, you're going to have your coaches up the resistance on the tank so it's as hard as it can be, and then there's going to be a person on each handle. So I'd be here and my partner would be here, and you're both going to be pushing and both going to be pulling. And with the resistance at its highest level, I think that'll suffice. So that's how we're going to work it if there is 2 people at that station. But that is our tank push-pull. Next station is an isometric bird dog. And yes, we did bird dogs last week in the mobility week with the 1, 2, 3 lift. This week we're going to do another variation, which is isometric. Halfway through the time, you're going to switch sides. So an isometric bird dog, you're going to want that neutral neck. So you're just looking straight down. One leg up. You want that nice and straight and strong. So we're trying to avoid kind of just like this. So it only gets so straight. So don't lock your knee and keep a soft bend in your knee. So anyways, one leg straight, opposite arm out straight, and we're just going to hold it for the first 20 seconds of the set. You might feel a little like you might have some of these wobbles, and that's totally fine. Do your best to stabilize. Halfway through the set, switch sides. Okay, and of course we always have our incline option for anyone. Ooh, what's going on with my hair there? Okay. We're going to go to an incline option for anyone staying off the floor. Okay, with the incline though, it's very important that, goodness me, that the leg that's staying on the floor with the incline option has a soft bend in the knee. So watch my leg here. See that soft bend in the knee? That's very important. We don't want to lock the knee out straight here and like hyperextend it. So keep that soft bend in the knee if you're doing if you're standing and doing our incline option. Next one, bottoms up kettlebell carry, or kettlebell bottoms up carry. I forget what the order I put those words in. Pretty self-explanatory as far as the descriptors are all in the name. Kettlebell, bottoms up, and we're going to go for a walk. We're going to carry it. With the bottoms up, I want to make sure we're not kind of using fingers to sort of cheat and stabilize that kettlebell a little bit more. So I've seen a few people do this, and they're doing it inadvertently, unconsciously. So don't do that. I want you to make the top of your fist be right at the base of the handle, because it will feel a little more wobbly. That's kind of the point. Then you have to work harder to stabilize that. Hold it in front, bend those elbows, hold it in front of the chest, not resting on the chest though. Again, if it's out here, we just have to stabilize more, use more muscles. Okay. So we start at the whatever starting point your coach has designed or designated, I should say, and let's go for a controlled walk. Down and back, whatever, for the full 40 seconds. And yeah, I really just have to feel that in the forearms, the biceps, front of the shoulders, and the chest muscles. So that's our bottoms up kettlebell carry. Next is a band face pull. And depending on your turf space, what you have there, some of the coaches might choose to do this with a cable and a black rope. So I'm going to let the coaches, it may or may not be a band, but most of our turf spaces don't have a cable machine. So that's why I'm staying band here. But anywho, so it might look a little different than this if your coach is using a cable. So we got a band hooked up. Now the clincher here, or not the clincher, I shouldn't say, but like the important thing to remember here with the grip is you're not going to be gripping the actual handle itself. You're going to be gripping just at the base of the handle. So you're going to be gripping the rubber itself. Right at the base of the handle, you're just going to be gripping it with a fist. Just coming in and making a fist, gripping the base of the rubber right at the start of the handle there. This is one exercise where we're actually going to flare the elbows out. With most back exercises, we kind of tell you to keep elbows in. That's pretty standard. This is a little different, so it's the exception to the rule. Stagger your stance. It's going to give you some support behind you here, and it's going to help you avoid wanting to lean back. So stagger your stance, whatever leg is more comfortable back behind you. Flare the elbows out. It's called a face pull because you're bringing the center of if you were using a cable attachment, you would be bringing the center of that attachment right towards your nose or your face. In this instance, you're bringing like your hands right towards your face. That's why it's called a face pull. You're bringing flaring the elbows out and back. Notice how my hands are coming right towards my face, and I'm just from the front. It would look like this. Bring those hands right towards my face, and I'm just opening them up right by my face so I don't literally punch myself in the face. But I'm making that fist with my hands. So yeah, I don't know if I can just show you any better. It would just be showing you repetition at this point. But elbows do stay up and out. I don't want to see the elbows flaring down like this. That's still a back exercise, but we want to be hitting these rear delts, like right up, really up high here. That's why we're doing this. If we lower them down here, we're turning it into more of a mid-back exercise, which is fine, but that's not what we're doing with this today. We're doing a rear delt exercise. So face pull. Should be seeing those hands always kind of right in your peripheral vision, right here by your eyes, by your face. So let's give that a try this week. We've only done it maybe a handful of times over the course of the many years. So band face pull. Next station is an uneven squat. I don't know if we've done this before in Defy. I can't remember. Okay, so I want the box that you use for this to be the lowest one we have. So everyone's going to be on this lower. They're different colors at the different gyms, but I want to use the lowest one. We don't want a very high, like a large discrepancy with the different levels of the feet here. So one foot is on the box, one foot's on the floor, uneven, hence the name. But I do want your toes to still be parallel to one another. and turn to the side to make my point on this. So see how my feet are still like parallel to one another, meaning I don't have 1 foot back, 1 foot way up here, 1 foot way back here, or same thing, like 1 foot way back there, 1 foot way forward. So you're still just like you were doing a normal squat, and your feet are just parallel to one another. So that's very important. I scooted way back. Okay, so look down, make sure your feet are like, your toes are still parallel with one another. And we go into some squats. It's gonna feel weird. I want you to try to stay as even as possible, which sounds weird because we're uneven. But by that, I mean like where your hips are. So you're not like favoring, like you're not like kind of leaning over here or leaning over here. So you still are staying, like your hips are staying directly centered over your legs. What you're gonna feel is the side with the leg on the box is gonna feel like it's working much more, doing more work, working harder. And it is, essentially, because what is this leg, the leg on the box, what is it doing? It's getting a deeper range of motion than this leg. The leg that's on the box is essentially getting this deep of a squat. Like you were doing, remember those TRX squats for mobility week last week? You were getting nice and deep and low. The leg on the box is getting that deeper range of motion because this leg is bent more than this leg. Okay, so that's why this leg is going to feel like it's working more because it kind of is. But again, so each leg's gonna feel like it's doing something different. Stay level over the hips, so that's very important. Again, we don't want to be kind of like favoring and dipping to one side. Halfway through the set, switch sides. I stepped over so I could still be looking at you. Probably be easier when you're in your session just to turn around, but whatever's easier. So 20 seconds on each leg. What is going on? It's gonna feel different. It's gonna feel funky. But it's very important to have those toes. I'm going to reiterate, I know I already said it, but it is very important to have those toes be, in line with one another, even though 1 foot's up on the box. Your body is probably going to want to step the floor foot back like this. Your body's probably going to feel more stable this way, but we don't want to do a squat with one leg forward and one leg back. So before you start your squats, take a look down and be like, oh, okay, they're not parallel. So step forward, make sure the toes are lining up. Very important. So I did want to reiterate that. All right, let's try these uneven squats. Last station, agility ladder, lateral hops. Okay, this is what that means. You're gonna start at one end of it. Well, sideways. You're gonna try a double foot hop into each box. Go at whatever speed you like, okay? Whatever speed works for you. Of course, going both ways. If you want to speed it up, if you're at that level, go ahead and speed it up like I just did there. Take your time. Speed is not the goal necessarily, unless you're looking for that progression. So, yeah, that is a little bit of impact, right? Because a double foot jump is full body up and full body down on both feet. So if that's not where we're at just yet, we can do more of a little kind of like leading with 1 foot, kind of more of a puddle hop. That's still some impact, but it's gentler. If you are trying that and then that feels maybe too easy for you, perhaps, you can do that puddle hop, but try to skip a box. So then you're adding a little more of a challenge as far as you're jumping farther, but it's still a little gentler because you kind of have that cushion of, not really a double, like not a full like stomp with the 2 feet. So really kind of just make it your own. We just want something that's lateral, first of all, sideways, but something jumpy or hoppy. So that's what we're going for here. But try that full double foot up and down. That really helps teach us how to lift up both feet, hence the agility. Give that a try. And if you already know that impact is just not an option for you for any reason, try that, single leg leading, kind of more of that puddle hop. And then if you want to try the puddle hop, skipping a box. There's kind of all sorts of options. So let's see what works for you for that one. All right, team builder time. We're going to partner up for this, okay? So the coach might need to be someone's partner. If we have an odd number of people, okay, it's going to be a wall sit bicep curl challenge. Partner one is going to be doing a wall sit. Oh, be over here. And everyone knows wall sits, I think. Sitting down as low as you're able against the wall, keeping your full back against the wall so we're not leaning forward on the legs. Knees and ankles are in line here, meaning we're not like the feet aren't way out, so we're kind of just chilling against the wall. But the feet aren't also too far back. We don't want knees to stick farther forward than the feet. Okay? Wall sit. So you hold that while partner two is doing dumbbell. I don't have the dumbbells, but we're just going to imagine I do. Dumbbell bicep curls for 25 reps. So 25 reps might mean that there has to be some pauses in there. Maybe at rep 12, person has to stop and shake their arms out. But guess what? Wall sit person still has to hold that wall sit. So, and come on now. Bicep curl person isn't going to just grab fives just because they know they can crank those out fast. So I still want the bicep curls to be a nice challenging weight, something moderately challenging, right? So 25 bicep curls, holding a wall sit, and then swap. And each person is going to do each thing one time. And that's our partner team builder. All right, and that wraps up week 3 for Defy Aging. See everyone back next week.